you're watching the very special YouTube bonus episode of Your Tables on Fire. Here comes your host, Jeff Beck.
All right, welcome to the extra bonus portion of Your Tables on Fire YouTube edition. Right now, Chris is going to walk us through this game, and hopefully we can play a round or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So the basic premise of Yakitori is to buy food tiles from the market, put them on your skewers, and grill them to perfection and sell them for profit. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about kind of how this starts. Each player is going to have 3 dice, which are, in essence, they're workers. Okay, and we're going to roll those, and then we're going to take time to put them on the action board, and we'll resolve those in order. Okay, so that's the function of the dice. The value on the dice comes in terms of determining placement, whether you go first or last. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. Each player has 2 skewers. Okay, so, and if you look at it, these skewers have text on them. The text works as telling you where the bonus is. Meaning, so at the bottom slot, if you were to sell a meat token or a meat tile down here, it would sell for one less yen, 1 less point. Okay, veggies
because
sell.
It hasn't been cooked enough.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of yep, exactly. Veggies cook for a bonus in the middle, a bonus 1 in the middle. Meat sells for a bonus 1 at the top, but veggies sell for a -1. Okay, so the way that this works is you're going to have the tiles, and they slide on. Okay, so they slide on. They have a uncooked side and then a cooked side, which you see with the grill marks. Okay. Right. So what's going to happen is, and we'll just do this. So each player starts with 2 skewers. You can only have 1 tile on a skewer at a time. And we'll just give you this one. Okay. So you'll go and you'll put that onto a skewer. You'll put it all the way at the bottom. Excuse me. The setup is we're going to randomly determine what the starting value of each of these goods is. So I'm just going to pull them out. I'm going to put 2 in the bottom one. I'm going to put 2 in the next one, and so on. And this now gives us some variable items, and we know there are 2 values. Across the bottom is what you buy it for, okay, in terms of yen, and then what you sell it for if it's cooked. So in this situation right now, we can start to look at and see, like, okay, if I want to buy an oxen, it'd be 1,000 to buy it, but if I were to sell one, I'd get 2,000 for it. Okay, so how we do this are starting little guys in terms of our bank accounts, how much money we start with. It's based upon basically 5 points minus the value of your item. If it was cooked and sold, right? So where I have mushrooms would be worth 2 points, 2,000. So I would start with 3, and I'm blue. Okay, and then so here's the thing, right? So your chili peppers would be worth 1,000, so you're going to actually start with 4 points.
That's good, because I was feeling ripped off previously.
Yeah, exactly,
now
right?
I feel better.
Yeah, so you start with more money than me, and what's going to happen is we're going to have a number of tiles equal to the number of players plus 2. So in this case, we have 4 tiles in the market. Okay. So at this point, we'll have a first player. We'll say that that's going to be you this turn. So what's going to happen is you're not necessarily going to resolve your action first, but you're going to get to place the first worker on the action board. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about actions. The first one is the market, and that lets you buy something from the market or sell a tile on a skewer as long as it's been cooked. Okay, you can't sell uncooked food.
That makes sense.
Okay, so that's the market action. Influence is actually the ability to move one of these tokens either up or down up to 2 spaces. You can't move it below 0, can't move it above 10,000. But for example, if you wanted, you could influence the price of your peppers up, and then when you get ready to sell them, they're worth more, right?
Money, right.
Okay, so that's the influence.
You don't have to just influence your...
No, you can influence any one of those 6 anytime you want. You can put multiple dice in influence and drive something all the way down or all the way up. So this one, it says cooking, but in the final version, it's actually going to be grilling. And I'll explain the nuance here in a second. So grilling lets you do a couple things. It lets you flip a tile over to the cooked side.
Okay.
You could alternately slide it up 1 spot on your skewer, or you can take the dice off of it. Your dice will be here, and you can put it on here. Why you would want to do that is because at the end of the round, everything on a skewer cooks 1 automatically.
No matter what.
Yeah, so you would do that. That symbolizes taking it off the heat. So at the end of the round, it won't cook. And the reason why that matters is because if you get one up here and you haven't sold it, when it cooks, it comes off the skewer and you lose it. So for example, if you have something and you need to sell it, but you didn't get a sell action, you could keep it from being lost. Okay, so that's the grilling. Then the final one is a second market, same thing, buy or sell. So you can buy in the beginning, you can buy at the end.
Okay.
So it kind of just exactly based upon what you want to do. Let's talk about
final market action is going to happen before food automatically slides off.
Correct. Exactly. Yep. So at the end, and we're going to start here. So the first action is going to be whoever has a dice there, if somebody has a dice there, and then we're just going to work our way through. This will be the last market action. As you can see on this board, there's 3P, 4P, 5P. That's for 3 players, 4 players, 5 players. So right now, it's just these 7 spots that we're competing for.
That's all there is.
Yeah, we each have 3 dice. So, so you got to plan your actions kind of correctly, right? So let's talk a little bit more about the how the end game works. So the end game is based upon, hey, the person with the most points is going to win. So as you sell tiles off your skewers, you'll collect them in front of you. Okay. And at the end of the game, we're going to do some set collection to score bonus points. Okay. So if we pair a meat and a vegetable together, it's worth 1 extra point.
Okay.
3, like 1 of each vegetable. So there's 3 types of vegetables, or 1 of each type of meat is worth 2 points.
Okay.
And if you played a full round and you got 1 of each, it'd be worth 5 points. Okay, we won't play long enough to get that, but that would be a feature that you could do.
Right.
The other thing that we do at is basically the grilling masters. The player with the most type of tokens grilled of the same type gets a bonus point. So if you've cooked the most mushrooms or the most chilies or the most whatever, you get a bonus point for that too. Okay, so that's the set collection element at the end. At the beginning of the round, like so after we go all the way through, we'll refill this back up. So the game ends when we can't fill that market up. So the trick of that is the game might literally come to an end during the round you're in. So you kind of need to pay attention to how many tiles are in it and what actions people are taking, so that it so something to pay attention to. When you buy something, your token moves back. When you sell something, your token moves forward. One other thing, when you buy stuff from the market, when you buy it, it automatically increases in value 1. Okay? So when you sell it, it goes down 1. So there's something to think about that. Right? Like
real-time market.
Yeah. So one of the things, right, like if we both are going to sell the same thing, that's where you might want to sell in front of me, you know what I mean? Because once you sell it, it's going to drive the value down for when I sell it.
Yep.
Okay. So the other thing too, so let's talk about the value on the dice. So 1 through 6, let's say I put a 3 here. Okay. Now, if you have a 3, you also want to influence, you'll actually drive my 3 down. Okay. If you had a 1, a 2, it would also, if you played a 4 or a 5, it would go after.
So less than or equal to.
Correct.
I go on top.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't shove me off. So once these 2 spots are filled, I can't add any more influence dice. You can't add any more influence dice. Okay. Any questions at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our 3 dice, we're going to roll them, and then starting with you, we're going to start filling up the board.
Okay.
Okay. So you can decide what you want to do first. So.
Okay, I think I'm going to want to get rid of my 6. I'm going to influence.
Okay. So I want to make sure I can cook.
Okay. I'm going to double influence.
Okay. I am then, well, actually, in that situation, I'm gonna grill again.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to, for my final thing, I'm going to purchase something.
I think that's smart, and I'm gonna go to the market with the intention to sell something.
Okay.
Okay, so now at this point, we're gonna resolve starting with the first action, which is the first market space. So you can't sell your peppers because they haven't been cooked yet, so you have to buy something. Exactly.
Right. Okay. I'm going to be cheap son of a gun, and I'm going to buy some asparagus.
That's right. So you'll put that on your second skewer on the uncooked side,
All
which
the
is
way.
that one. Yep. And then as a benefit, asparagus is going to move up 1 on the market track.
All right.
Yeah,
bought it.
it's because you just bought it. So automatically you should be able to generate a profit off that.
Like this.
Yep. So you collect your dice back to show that that action is resolved.
Okay.
Now we move to the next column.
Okay.
So now you can influence. So that's a token up or down up to 2 spaces of your choice.
Okay. So I'm going to move my peppers.
Mm-hmm. All the way up to there.
And then since I have 2,
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and move my asparagus.
Okay, perfect. So then you pull both of those off.
All right.
So now if there was asparagus or peppers to buy, maybe I'd wanted to buy them, but now they're going to cost me a lot more, right? So at this point, grilling actions can happen simultaneously. So all players can do that. So 1 dice, 1 grilling action. So in this case, I'm going to flip it over to the grilled side.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move it up 1 on my skewer. So that's my 2 actions.
Okay.
So if I had had 2 tiles, I could have flipped each of them over. I could use one or the other, but only 1 action per skewer.
That makes sense.
Okay. So then finally we go to the market. So now I have a cooked set of mushrooms and they're in the perfect spot on my skewer. So I can sell mushrooms for 3,000, which is 2,000 from the sell plus 1,000 bonus,
That's
right? The
their
1 point
bonus, right.
bonus. So what's going to happen? Mushrooms are going to drive down 1,
Mhm.
but I am going to move up 3 on the track.
Okay. And that's why you wanted to sell yours, because if you held on to them,
Yeah.
you go into the
Well, yeah,
minus one.
it would go on to the -1 exactly. Exactly, right? Okay, so now at this point, that's the end of the round. So a couple things that we have to do. We need to add 1 more tile. Okay, so we're going to add another asparagus. I just kind of randomly pulled it out.
Okay.
So what would happen now is I would be, now remember, end of the round, everything on a skewer automatically moves up 1.
Yes.
Okay. So then it would become my turn to be first player. So the first player token would move to me. I grab my 3 dice. You grab your 3 dice, and we roll them. And we repeat again, but I'm going to put 1 first. So here at this point, I've got to look at what's available. I have nothing on my skewer, so obviously I want to buy something. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
And then you'll get to place.
All right. I'm going to definitely do some cooking.
Absolutely. And then I want to do some influence.
Okay. I am going to do some more cooking.
Yeah. And then what I will do, I can't cook, so although I'm going to have something on a skewer, I can't do anything with it. So maybe what I'm going to do is look at buying 1 more thing.
All right. And I am going to look at selling something.
There we go. So what will happen is it'll start with me. So I'm going to go and I'm going to buy oxen. Okay, so it costs me a point, but I get the oxen tile. Then oxen drives up 1
Mm-hmm.
automatically. I'm going to put that on my skewer. Then I'm going to influence. And what I'm going to do here is I am actually going to influence asparagus down.
Oh, you bad man.
Exactly, right? Twofold. Okay, so that's that. So now it is your turn. So you can grill.
Okay. I'm going to grill. I'm going to grill my peppers.
Okay, so that's
They're nice
1.
and tasty.
Yep.
All right. Now for my other grill, I'm going to, tell me if I'm doing this right, I'm going to reserve this in this spot.
Absolutely, yeah, because you don't want it to slide up at
That's
the end of the
right.
round.
That's right.
Yep. So then what's going to happen? So now I'm going to be able to buy or sell. No, I'm going to buy. Sorry. I'm going to buy asparagus. So it cost me a point. So now we're tied.
Mhm.
But I have asparagus on
Now,
my skewer.
since you bought it, asparagus is going
Now
up.
asparagus moves up.
Okay, that I feel
Yep.
better about
Yeah,
myself
exactly.
now.
Now you feel better, right?
Yep.
So then it's your turn, and you
Okay.
can sell
And I'm
peppers.
selling my peppers.
Yep, and your peppers are in this pile, right? So you're going to get 5,000 for your peppers. So
Okay.
that'll move you to here.
I will take that.
Yeah, and then you'll keep that in front of you for at the end of the game.
Very good.
And that, so what happens is we just kind of play round through round through round until, like I said, we get to a point where we can't refill the market. Then we add up our set collection points and see who has the most.
Yeah, what I like about that, it's really simple. There's enough going on. There's lots of choices, but it only took you a few minutes to teach me how to play. I feel like I have a pretty decent grasp of it.
Yep.
There's plenty of strategy. You got to decide when to do certain things. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing you look at. Like, do I want to have 2 veggies on my skewers at the same time, 2 meat? Right? Because you look at that, right? Like that's a classic example of using the cooking dice, the grilling action, to actually keep something from grilling so that you could then look at selling it the next turn, and you'd be able to because you're first player. Right. So for sure you could lock in that market action to make sure you could sell it, and so little things like that there's a lot of strategy that you come to recognize as you play through the game. That's why I tell everybody, it's like, usually within the first couple minutes you got a pretty good handle on, and though it is the same stuff each time, it's got that rapid fire kind of pace to it, and you kind of feel like, okay, I'm grabbing this, oh great, there's a mushroom and I need a mushroom for my set collection, let's see if I can figure out how to grab that, and it's fun because as you get towards the end of the game, you get these people that are trying to fill in the market with veggies so that they can actually buy something, grill it, and cook it all in the same round, right? So you get some kind of fun stuff like that. So,
but it's also fun with the market because now, like you're saying, you don't really want a solitaire game. Here we're interacting. You can lower the price of the stuff I'm working on. So there's some great interaction going on. Yeah,
absolutely, right? Like it's one of those situations where if I can influence asparagus down, I'm helping me, hurting you technically, right? So I moved it down 2. Yes, I got one of them back when I bought it, but it still, means that you're going to sell for less, right? So there's little things that you can kind of observe and stuff like that. Or it's one of those situations where it's like, oh, he just bought chickens, there's another chicken, so I'm going to buy a chicken as well, and I can get 2 for 1 on the gain, little things like that. But that's why we really love it, why we think that, people are really going to enjoy it. We've had lots of great positive responses. What I love seeing was at SaltCon, we gave people a little place to give us their name and email address and write down what they were interested in, and how many people we got that said, hey, notify me when the Yakitori Kickstarter launches. That's all the validation you could ask for, is that people play a 5-10 minute demo of it and say, yeah, I'm interested in getting that, right? So, yep.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you very much.